Hello, folks. Welcome to this Danielcode training video. We have a great deal of material to deal with today, and I want to, in the 30 minutes available to me, show you the very best trading system in the world and how you can use it to your benefit as a trader. If you have no trading experience, we can teach you step by step. And we can also make you better if you are an existing trader. The unique models about the Danielcode trading content is that it is a better model because it provides for you to earn while you learn, and that's the important difference. Learning to trade is a very, very complex business, and it can take many, many years before you become good at that. I have been in the business of teaching people to trade for over 20 years. And the common theme is that even the most dedicated find that they run out of enthusiasm if they're not making some money along the way. I have found the best way to get people interested in trading and to keep them interested while they are learning is to show them how to make some money so that they are funding their learning processes as they go. And we have developed that and many other tools which I'm about to show you. The thing about trading is that it is about money. There may be people in this world who wish to learn financial markets trading for altruistic reasons, but the reality is that most of us want to learn it and become very good at it so we can make a lot of money. And we understand this at the Danielcode, and we've set up the programs exactly to take that course. So we will cater for you whether you're a newcomer or whether you're already a competent trader. The heart of this program is that the Danielcode will create for you every day a range of trading signals in Forex and futures markets. In addition, as you'll see when we go through, we hold your hand all the way, show you how to create those trades, how to place the orders. We also address the other things you need to know as a trader, which are market correlations, risk and stop loss management. Stop loss strategy and execution is absolutely vital. Probably execution of trading is 50% of the process. And of course, we will also show you which exit to use for which trade and how they should be addressed. I want to get straight to the money issue here because I need to hold your attention for a period of time. And these webinars can get a little tedious if you don't understand the end point. What I'm showing you here is the value of the Danielcode Trade Room account. This was a $100,000 SIM account that we started on the 28th of June 2010. It was then traded in our live trade room in front of many of our members. All of the trades are taken from the Danielcode TO3 Plus signals, which I create for you. They were then created, the proper orders, the stop loss, and the targets, and traded by Dave Hunt, an advanced student of mine who runs the live trade room for us. You can see very briefly that between the 28th of June and the 8th of November, which is when this particular chart ends, this account had risen from 100,000 to 134,000, and it has continued to rise since then. And you will see from this results page, this is what you're at the Danielcode for. So let's not beat around the bush. Let's show you the results that we've been getting. These are all verified by our members. This happens in public before any of our members who wish to see it. It goes on every day, and Dave Hunt creates a transcript of everything that he's doing so that if you have a job or it's not convenient for you to be in the trade room all the time, you can very easily recover the transcript and run through exactly what happened during the trading day. We're now showing you the results for 12 months. This is from when the account started. And that tells us that we created, first of all, 857 winners and 144 losers. So the winner strike rate is at 86%. That's quite extraordinary. But equally extraordinary, if you think about it, is the number of signals that we created. Now, about 40% of the signals that I create are not elected. There's a very specific procedure we use to see these signals elected. But you can see that in the year under review, we created very close to 1,000 signals that were elected, and with about 250 trading days in the year, we have got an average of about 4 or 5 signals a day. So the way this program works is it creates a large number of signals, quite unusual. I don't think you'll find this in any other program, and it also has a very, very high strike rate. If we move to the bottom paragraph there, you'll see that in the period under review, the trade program had a return of 7.4% for the month of December and 51.75% for the 6-month period of operation. And that gives us an average of 7.29 after the 6 months of operation there. The interesting thing you'll see is that the amount of money in the account is actually greater than the average monthly return. So with an average of about 7%, we should have been looking at about 44% return for the 6-month period. In fact, it was over 51%. And the reason for that is compounding. That is, the return has a larger base to work from each successive month. As we take a fixed amount of our account to trade, your value of your trade, unless you withdraw money from your account, is always increasing. So we get this compounding effect. And if you think about a return over 7% on a continuous basis, that compounds to an enormous amount of money. We believe that the Daniel Code is amongst the most profitable and safest systems in the world. I say that regularly, no one's contradicted me yet. The Sharpe ratio, the last issue in this page, is a conventional measure of not only profit but also risk and reward. You can't really talk about a system's profitability unless you have also delineated what is the risk and what is the downside. For this particular program, we only use a maximum of 2% risk, fully correlated. We'll come to that later. You'll understand what that means by the end of this discussion. But for any particular trade, our maximum risk is 2%. And during the 6 months that this live trade account has been running, our maximum drawdown was in October 2010, and that was about $58 on a $122,000 account at that stage. So you can see the Daniel Code is very much a defensive model. It was designed by me for that purpose, and its aim is to reduce to the bare minimum possible the drawdown. Drawdowns are what kills equity returns. If you can find a system that pays great attention to risk management and drawdowns, you will find a system that can create a very large and healthy equity return for you. There are many systems that promise great returns. The problem with nearly all of them is they have substantial drawdowns. That is the size of the worst losing sequence of trades. We have managed to demonstrate that this program to date has had no significant drawdowns, and that's what makes it so very different. So keep that in mind as we move on. The Daniel Code is primarily a 1 to 10 day trading system in futures and forex. We trade US equity indices. That's the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, and the Nasdaq. We trade gold and silver, oil and T-bonds, grains, and 15 forex pairs. Unusually for a trading program, the Daniel Code works exactly the same on all markets. You will tend to hear people say, oh, I just specialize in the S&P, or I only trade gold. That's the wrong attitude to take, because mathematically the Daniel Code will give exactly the same returns from all markets, and more importantly, it's creating a lot more opportunities for you to profit. And the Daniel Code runs on the TO3 Plus signals that I create for members and that are posted at the Daniel Code daily. Depending on your level of knowledge and interest in trading, I just want to highlight to you that we have 2 distinct paths to trading knowledge. The first one, if you look at this chart and follow through the Learn to Trade box, which runs through this line here, you can see that you can subscribe to the website, add the TO3 Plus signals, which is what I provide you every day, and then you can join the live trade room with Dave. And in there he will talk every day about the trade strategies involved with each trade, He will show you how to create that trade, what are the stop loss orders, where do they go, what is the failure point, what is the first target, what is our exit strategy. And they vary for different types of trade. It's not true that all trades are the same. Some trades are continuation trades and require a much looser, more generous stop loss protocol. Others, which are reversal trades, are higher risk, and therefore we use a more severe stop loss protocol with them. You'll see if you go right to the bottom of this page, I've got a box there that says have it all now with Genie. Genie is our auto trade program. We have had a lot of members over the years who have loved the Daniel Code, but they've just found it impossible to trade because they have jobs, they have family commitments, and we will create on any given day somewhere between 2 and 3 trade signals, and sometimes up to 15 or 16 trade signals. And when you get those really big days, the time involved in manually creating that order strategy list is quite significant, and a lot of people find that too hard, too onerous, too difficult. And we have now created for you the Danielcode GENIE, which is a full auto trade program. It knows the entries every day. It knows which markets we want to trade. It knows where the stops are and where the targets are. And we're going to pay a lot of attention to the GENIE today because it is the future of trading for you. On this page, we just list some of the orders that you need to create if you want to trade manually. And you can see there is a host of them, and probably some of them you say, wow, how does this all work out? We have put all of this into the GENIE, and the GENIE knows the answers to all these questions and does it all for you, and it will take you less than 10 minutes a day to operate the Danielcode trading system inside the GENIE. Here's the Danielcode Auto Trade box powered by Trade Navigator. I put this picture in for the Vegas promo. It's not really a black box because the entries and the strategies we use are quite transparent, and Dave will talk about those every day in the live trade room as trading progresses. Here's a quick look at our Danielcode website. I just wanted to draw your attention to some of the features in here, the most important one of which is the Chart Navigator. These are the members charts, Forex pairs, currency futures, equity indices, metals, and miscellaneous. Once you have had your Danielcode membership finalized, those drop-down boxes will become active for you, and you will be able to see the charts with the marvelous Danielcode targets in blue lines. They're extensions of the range, and the red and black lines, which are retracements of the range. You'll also be able to go into the members forum and chat with other members, and you will see that all markets turn at the Danielcode numbers, and the vast bulk of them are very, very precise. And that's what makes the Danielcode different to everything else in the world, because it has a unique set of numbers and ratios that create the true lines of support and resistance on charts. And that sounds boring because other people have peppered you with this stuff, and the stuff they're giving you, it's not so. The Danielcode numbers are extremely accurate, and every turn in any market will come at a Danielcode price number. Here's a brief look at one of our members' charts. This one happens to be Australian dollar, Japanese yen. I just want you to get a visual of what these charts look like. The blue lines that I create, now these are done on every weekend and updated again on Wednesday night. These charts, the blue lines are extensions of the range, and you'll see this market turning very precisely at the 81.60 level. And then when it reverses, that sets up a swing, and we use the red and black lines to highlight that swing. This particular swing goes from this bar down here all the way up here, and we have some proprietary numbers in the Danielcode retracement tool, which will show you the likely levels of the retracements. That retracement tool is part of the Danielcode trade library, excuse me, which is you will get when your membership is up and running. It will be provided to you by Trade Navigator, who are our preferred charting partners. They will also give you a free trial of their charts and software. You don't have to use Trade Navigator charts and software if you don't want to, unless you are using the GENIE at the moment. If you want to use the GENIE, It runs only on Trade Navigator. The main reason we use Trade Navigator is we trade a lot of Forex pairs, and unlike normal futures markets, with a futures market, all of the prices come through a central exchange, so everyone gets the same prices, knows exactly where the daily highs and lows are. With Forex, it doesn't work that way. There is no central exchange. All of the trade platforms create their own pricing charts, and we find that they're all over the place. Some of them are bid charts, some of them are ask charts, and they're not terribly reliable. We have found Trade Navigator to be the most reliable trade platform for Forex, and in addition, they are the only people I know of that run their Forex charts on the correct time. Forex charts run on GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Nearly all of the other platforms will try to run them on local time, which does not work. So you can take it from me that if you want to trade Forex, at this stage you do need Genesis Trade Navigator charts. You'll see here's another example of how these markets run in this particular case. This is the Aussie dollar, US dollar chart. It ran down to the Danielcode black line. That's a famed number. It's the last level of support and resistance for any swing, and markets will turn at these numbers again and again and again. And sometimes we have these numbers on our weekly and monthly charts many, many weeks before markets reach that number and make the turns. But you can see that that market dived down at the black line, created a swing, which is shown with the red line over here. Here's the operating swing. There's the low, there's the high. We put on our DC retracement tool and we get these numbers. You'll be able to do that as well, because when you get the Danielcode library from Trade Navigator, it will not only have those tools, but it will also have some specific stochastics, Danielcode stochastics that have been designed particularly to work with the Danielcode, and some other indicators and studies as well. We start all of this with our Danielcode trade program. This is what it looks like. It's inside the website, and there are a number of things you have to be concerned about. Over here, we have our account value. You just type in there your account value, either your practice account or your real account. The next box, you put in your risk value. We recommend 1 or 2%, no more. And that's because we trade a lot of contracts, and sometimes you can have 6 or 7 trades all elected on the same day. So 2% may not sound a big risk, but if you have 7 trades elected, it's a very big risk, and you need to keep this risk management inside your risk plan. That's vital. Once you've done that, you just click this button, calculate contracts at defined risk, and you will find that the program will open up, and it will show you a great deal of information about today's trades. Now, this is just a sample. This is from a day back in December last year, and you can see that we had a great number of Forex trades. We had a trade in the German DAX, the Dow, the Nifty, that's the Mumbai Stock Exchange Indian index, crude oil, gold, silver, soybeans, T-bonds, and wheat. And if you just run quickly across the top of these headings, you'll see what this has told you. The trade program has told you the market. It's told you whether today is a buy or sell signal. It's given the precise entry point to the tick where you should enter. It's given the precise point where your initial stop loss should go. It's created the first target, because for some of these trades, we are going to take off half our profit of the first target. And it then tells you whether these trades are correlated. Now, this is extremely important. If you look at these first 2 contracts here, CAD Chief and CAD JPY, they both have the Canadian dollar in their mix. And that means that they are highly correlated. One part of that contract is going to match the other, which means that they will be either both winners or both losers. The quantum of each move may be different, but when you have correlations, it is very, very likely that they will track the same direction. So to that effect, we are trading in some cases the same contract twice, and that would mean we would need to reduce the size of our contracts or exposure to those particular trades to ensure that our combined investment in those correlated trades, that's what correlations mean, does not exceed our risk management allowable, and that's exactly what the trade program does. It knows which of these contracts are correlated, and it goes through and it creates the recommended number of contracts you should take for your account size, which is put in up here, and your risk value, which is here. Once that's done, you can then go through and choose just whichever trades you want, put in the right number of contracts. You might only be trading Forex if you've got a smaller account, or you might be trading futures and Forex. You then press the calculate total value sold. It will come up and tell you your total risk percentage and your total risk value, and if that is within your risk parameters, then you're good to go. One of the reasons, in fact the main reason, that Forex is the fastest growing market in the world is that with the advent of mini contracts in Forex, you can trade Forex with extremely small accounts. The old contract in Forex was roughly $10 a tick. It ranges, it varies each pair, but that was the sort of default setting I would use for you. But now with these new mini contracts, they are as small as $1 a tick. So you can trade Forex with much smaller accounts than you will require with a futures account. So let's have a look at our next slide, and this tells you what the Danielcode GENIE is actually doing. Now, I think most of you are going to plonk for the GENIE. I don't think there are a lot of you who will want to take the manual form of working through this, but you are most welcome to. When you have your Danielcode GENIE membership, of course, you have access to everything else in the website. You can go into the live trade room with Dave and ask all your questions about the GENIE, and he will answer them all for you in real time. And you will see all of the orders being placed into the trade platform in real time. Now, the way to learn, we learn by doing, and we learn by repetition. If you are in the live trade room and you have the GENIE and you see what it is doing day after day after day, that is the quickest and best way to learn trading and to obtain the results that we are getting. Now, you won't stay in the game very long if you don't make some money. That's the key. We find the universal adage that 90% of traders will lose their bank in the first 90 days is correct. And that's because they're not being taught properly and they're not in a program that makes the money. The whole key to the Danielcode is you will make money while you are learning, and that will keep you enthusiastic, interested to learn more, and you will become a very good trader. These are the steps that the Danielcode GENIE is taking. It takes the trade signals from the Danielcode website, that's the heart of the GENIE. They're then collected into the DC Auto Trade in Trade Navigator, who are our charting partners. It knows the initial stops, correlations, first targets, and risk management. We've just gone through that in the Danielcode trade program. And then it also knows the Danielcode trade protocols for when we're going to move our stops, when we're going to take profits, and how we're going to exit these trades. And it knows that because I have written the program for it. And Pete Kilman and the guys at Trade Navigator have converted that into computer speak. So it will run exactly the same way as the trade room, and it should match the figures that we have been obtaining in the trade room, which are quite extraordinary. The next thing that I would like to just show you briefly is what's called a virtual private server. I used to call it a virtual dedicated server. It's actually a large server that lives off in the ether somewhere. And because the GENIE is a piece of software, it's only going to run as well as your computer runs. If you have power outages, power spikes, or a less than reliable internet connection, it will not run successfully. So with that in mind, I asked Trade Navigator to build some virtual private servers for our clients, and that option will be available to you very shortly. You will be able to run GENIE on a virtual private server, which means your computer will not be tied up running trading programs all day. These VPSs run at a 99.99% uptime, and they're very stable, very reliable. Once you have got your GENIE going, you can log in every morning to your Trade Navigator account. You'll see up here, it's hard to see, there's a little button that says DC. That's the Danielcode button in your Trade Navigator account. Once you are enabled for GENIE, you simply press on that button and whoosh, this is the page that will come up. It looks very like the Danielcode trade program, and that's because it's a copy of it. but this has some other interests in it, but you treat it exactly the same way. You put in your account value, you put in your risk value, you take whichever number of contracts you want in whichever trades you want to take, or you can just use the default and put in exactly what the Genie tells you. And once you've done that and checked that your total risk does not exceed your risk management, you press this tab over here which says Submit Trades, and that will automatically place all of your trades into the trade program with the appropriate stops and the ongoing stop loss management. And Genie will continue to run your trades until you have exited those positions, and it will report to you what it is doing. So this is the Genie process. It takes the DC trade signals and market correlation from the trade program. It places them into the trade platform that you prefer. We use PFG. We have found it to be by far the best Forex platform at this stage. There may be others. We are talking to some other people about other opportunities, but that's the one that works for Genie at the moment. It exits the trade in one of three ways, depending on which particular type of signal it's trading. It takes its profits on the first target where applicable, moves the stops and reports to you. In other words, it does it all for you. Will take you about 5 to 10 minutes a day to set that up. This is just a pictorial to show you the order flow. It starts over here with Dan the Hedgehog, our little motto here. It goes up into the trade program. It then goes across the Trade Navigator from where it's placed into the trading platform, and the trade platform and Trade Navigator all report back to you, the trader, so you know what's going on. There is a dashboard set up in the Genie which shows you all your trades, all your open orders, when they've been elected, and the profit and loss in each of those trades in real time, and it's very, very good. I just want to show you again the results of the last 12 months trading with the live trade room. This is why you would come to the Daniel Code, because it has the proven results and it has the technology for you to get started trading today. I do recommend very earnestly that with the Genie you do spend a couple of weeks using a practice version of it, so you become used to the expressions and terms that are used in there and how it works. But the big difference with the Daniel Code is if you know nothing about trading, you can start making trades today in the Genie. It would be better if you took a little time to become familiar with it, of course, being a piece of software, but in no time at all you will be up and trading and making money. So we have to just be aware that we, as traders, are in this business to make money. That's what we do, and we measure our success as traders by the amount of money we make. We're not interested so much in the wonderful strike rate, although it is quite extraordinary, but we are vitally interested in how much money we're making, and this program has been running at over 7% per month, not per year, per month, for the last 12 months, positive return, and it has a Sharpe ratio that actually says it's about the safest thing you could find. I put in here a couple of testimonials. I'm not a great fan of testimonials. I don't think it really matters what other people think. What matters is what you think, and you have to decide if this program is for you. But I do know that people do like to know that they have company, and we have, of course, literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonials with clients who have learned to trade, started to trade, and of course, all of this leads on. If you really want to be a seriously good trader at some stage, you will come along and do a Daniel Code tutorial with me. They take 3 days and they're run periodically in the United States and also in New Zealand. And at those very intensive 3-day trading tutorials, I'll show you a lot more about markets. I'll show you how to create many of the signals that we use to trade. I'll show you how to time markets, how to create turning points in markets in time, and a lot of other things as well. This is a separate look at this issue of profitability that's so vital for us. Some months ago I asked Jerry Winter, the Vice President of Striker Securities in Chicago, who's our preferred broker, to trade the Daniel Code Forex signals for about 3.5 months, just to get a completely independent view of the trading results. This is a report from Striker. You can see the original report in the Danielcode website. It's loaded there, and it's under the tab on the left-hand side where all our menu bars are, and it is called the Striker 50K account. It's under the tab that says Trading Reports. You can see the original document there. And Jerry tells us here that he traded the Forex signals only, and he used this particular method of trading them and exiting them. He sets it out there for you. It's quite transparent. And he had an average annual return during this period of almost 30%, and that's only trading Forex. And note that he's only trading 1%. Now, that in fact is a bit better than the live trade room is running at, and that's largely because this account was run at a time when there was very high volatility. The higher the volatility, the better it is and the more we like it. This is the equity curve chart, Forex only, from Striker Securities test trading of the Danielcode, and you can see it looks just exactly like you'd like your equity charts to look. Very stable and heading ever upwards. What you need to get started, folks, we need to get you into this stuff. You need to get your feet wet. I can assure you that you'll have huge amounts of help, not only from Dave in the trade room, but also from Trade Navigator, who will assist you with any questions you have. And they will also offer you a one-on-one training session, all free, that will get you handling the Trade Navigator charts and the Genie in a very simple manner. So what you need to get started, the first thing is you need to sign up for your Danielcode membership with Janine. You need to get your free trial of Trade Navigator data and charts, and we will give you the contacts and help you get that organized. When you do get your Trade Navigator, you will also get your Danielcode library of proprietary stochastic studies and chart indicators. That is a Danielcode library that lives inside Trade Navigator, is available to all Danielcode members. You will sign up for the Danielcode live trade room, so you can be in there with Dave every day looking at how these signals are traded, what's the risk, what are the things that competent traders think about, and you will get the TO3 plus trade signals every day, which are the heart of the program. From there, you'll see the risk management strategies in the DC trade program, and see the correlations and the risk management that we've already talked about. Or if you don't want to go through all of that stuff, you can get it all with Genie, which will do it all for you in about 5 to 10 minutes a day. And then you still, of course, have access to everything in the Danielcode website, and you can still go and review transcripts or go into the live trade room just to get the feel for what the Genie's doing. The more you understand of this stuff, the better. I do encourage you to learn as much as you can, but to learn everything that the Genie knows would take you years and years and years. And our experience is that if people aren't making some money in the first few months, then they lose interest. If you are making some money, which you will be doing with Genie and with the manual entering of signals, if that's what you prefer with the Danielcode, you will be making money. Your enthusiasm levels will be high. You will be anxious to learn more and know more, and that's really what we're all about. I'm required to show you some compliance statements. Most people usually disregard these. They are very important, particularly that you need to assess this for yourself and make your own decision. Prior to purchasing a trading system, the CFTC requires to tell you that you need to carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your own specific financial conditions. So do read that disclaimer and compliance. We wish you very well with your Danielcode experience. Do contact Janine, please, to get yourself signed up and start making money and becoming a Danielcode